二二嗨。
我很喜欢冰淇淋，但是速度只有一冰淇淋，所以现在因为时间2、3。
天上太阳红呀红彤彤哎，心中的太阳是毛泽东哎，他领导我们的解放哎，真理翻身当家做主人，咿呀咿自由呀呀自由啊，真理翻身当家做主人。天上太阳红呀红彤彤哎，心中的太阳是毛泽东哎，他领导我们奋勇前进哎，革命江山一片红哎，咿呀咿自由，自由啊，革命江山一片红。
雪花飘飘。
冰淇淋。
天上太阳红呀红彤彤哎，心中的太阳是毛泽东哎，他领导我们的解放哎。
Hey everyone, this is Shiny and today I will be reviewing the Lunar New Year Bundle of 2023. This bundle includes 3 packs, the first one being the Type 69 2G, followed by the T62 545 and lastly by the Type 69 2A. So starting with performance, we can see that all of them have the same engine power, which is 580 horsepower, and all of them weigh roughly the same, which is 37 tons. It will give us a power to weight ratio of about 15 horsepower per ton, which is quite low compared to the NATO tanks you may face, but still all of them feel quite mobile compared to previous iterations of Soviet designs. However, even if the stat car states that you can reach 50 km per hour, you're not gonna reach the speed in most situations. As with most Soviet designs, they don't have neutral steering, which will make them feel sluggish turning on urban environments. When it comes to armament, all tanks are fully stabilized, with both T69 having a laser rangefinder. The T62 however does not have it. The T69 2G features a 105mm gun because it's an export version. The reload speed is below NATO counterparts, with 9.7 seconds with a stock crew and 7.5 seconds with an ace crew. Despite being slow, it is still the fastest among the vehicles featured in this list. The turret rotation speed is also relatively low compared to NATO, with 11.9 degrees per second stock and 20 degrees with an ace crew. Just as with the reload rate, it is still the fastest of the vehicles included in this bundle. Now let's check the available shells. This tank features a HitFS round with 400mm of penetration on flat armor. We also have the DTB-1, a variable time fuse shell. This round is useful to take down helicopters as it has a decent trigger radius of 50 meters. However, you will be limited by the poor gun elevation of the Type 69. You also have a haze round, which is not very useful unless you're dealing with hull-down vehicles or open-top vehicles, but overall I don't think it's worth carrying. Your main to-go round will probably be the Type 83 APF SDS, pretty good round, one of the best APF SDS on this BR. To conclude, the T69 2G is the best tank in the bundle. It also features increased protection against hit FS, but it will not be very useful as most of your enemies will be using early APF SDS rounds, especially when up-tiered. It is slow and sluggish, but it has good firepower and will obliterate pretty much anything, even in up tiers. Still, it does not compensate for the poor mobility and reload rate. Now moving on to the Type 69-A, it's pretty much worse in all aspects when it comes to reload rate and turret rotation speed compared to the previous T69, as it has a reload rate of 11.1 seconds with a stock crew and 8.5 seconds with an ace crew. The turret rotation speed is 10.5 degrees per second with a stock crew and 15 degrees aced, very slow indeed. When it comes to ammo, we have an APDS round. This round has quite a lot of penetration, however I don't recommend it as it doesn't have too much post penetration damage. We also have an APCBC round, and while it doesn't have as much penetration as the previous round, it is sufficient considering most of your enemies will start prioritizing mobility over armor, at least in this BR, and the post penetration damage of this round is very good. This is the main round I carry. It will pretty much one shot anything as long as you pen it. We also have a decent hit FS round. This will be the secondary round I will carry, and I would use it just as a backup in case I cannot penetrate an enemy tank with the previous round. Lastly, we have a high explosive round, but really I wouldn't carry it considering that we have the APCBC round, which is still going to be useful even when dealing with soft targets. To conclude, I think the T69-A is definitely worse than the G version. Not having APF SDS can be a bummer in some situations, but its APCBC round is actually pretty good. It's a decent backup for the G version. After all, its battle rating is also lower, at 8.0. The T62-545 is just a Russian T62 which was captured by the Chinese in 1956. If you thought the reload speed and turret rotation was low on the T69s, prepare to hear about the T62 specs. The T62 features a reload rate of 12 seconds with a stock crew and 9.2 seconds with an ace crew. Its turret rotation speed is 9.5 seconds stock and 16 seconds aced. This tank features a 2-plane stabilizer, but it does not have a laser rangefinder, which is really bad at this battle rating. Now for the available shells, I will be showing the two available APF SDS at once. We have the 3BM3 and the 3BM4. Both of these rounds are actually pretty good. The main difference is the penetration. While the 3BM3 has more flat penetration, the 3BM4 has more angle penetration. The choice is yours, but at this battle rating I prefer to carry 3BM4 as angle penetration will prove more useful. We also have yet another high explosive round, but without a laser rangefinder it will be very hard to use, especially at long distances, so I don't really recommend carrying this round. The last available round is a hit FS round, which is actually pretty good, with 440mm of penetration at 0 degrees. I carry a few just in case, but the APF SDS should still be your main to go round. To conclude, honestly, the T62-545 is pretty much horrible when it comes to mobility, reload speed and turret rotation speed. It doesn't even have a laser rangefinder, however, you might not need it as much if you are using APF SDS. Its firepower is the only reason this tank is worth using in battle. Now let's take a look at the Silver Lion and Research Point modifiers. For 80 bucks, which is $20 more than your average top tier tank pack, you get a decent lineup to grind the Chinese tech tree. Yes, they're worse tanks compared to, for example, the CTC 96, but considering you're getting a full premium lineup and the fact that you can expand it with very good tanks at 8.3, I would say it's worth it as long as you're really serious about grinding the Chinese tech tree. Because they are premium, the repair cost is very low, and you will make a lot of Silver Lions with this lineup. However, it doesn't have many close air support options, and they just announced that the WMA and the PTL-02, which are amazing combined with these tanks at 8.3, are going to be moved to 8.7. Battle rating, which is too high for these MBTs, you would be constantly up tier to 9.7, where everyone has thermal optics and better rounds than you, so honestly I don't think it's worth it. I mean, just at 8.3, you're already going to get up tier 9.3 a lot, and you're going to be facing XM1s and Pumas. I didn't think I was going to ever grind the Chinese tech tree, but now it has become one of my most fun to play lineups with the other 8.3 vehicles from the tech tree. Sadly, the WMA and the PTL are going up, so it's just not gonna be as good. Regardless, I don't regret the purchase as I mentioned, I think it's pretty good and fun to grind the tech tree. Now, thank you for watching. If you want me to review something else, please comment down below.
，2岁了转个当朝，驸马郎的旗帜王啊，满皇上的徽，2岁了转个当朝，今天看齐，墙上写着秦香莲的30。